Monaster's hotel landscape can be genuinely confusing, and honestly it matters for both your wallet and your peace of mind. There's this property called Delphin Ribat that exists in this whole web of similar names. You've got Delphin Habib Al Habib Delphin Resort Monaster, and it creates real confusion across different booking sites. This isn't just some random trivia. When you've got multiple hotels sharing almost identical names in the same city, there's a real risk you'll book the wrong place entirely, especially when you're comparing prices across different sites that might list the same hotel under different names. Here's what you actually need to do. Verify the exact address before you hit that confirm button. For this property, it's BP 327 Avenue Habib Bourguiba, Monaster, Tunisia. Cross-reference the photos, read recent reviews that actually mention the hotel by name, and double-check your confirmation email. This kind of checking takes maybe 3 minutes and can save you from showing up at a completely different resort wondering why nothing looks like what you studied online. The hotel has a 4-star rating according to several third-party directories, though there's no official classification body mentioned in what we could find. TripAdvisor shows an overall guest score of 3.7 out of 5, and that's based on over 2,500 reviews. That's actually a pretty substantial sample size, enough to smooth out the outliers and give you a realistic picture of what most people experience. A score in the high 3s suggests a property that handles the basics well without reaching for luxury touches. It's the kind of rating that tells you to expect consistent performance rather than spectacular highs or disappointing lows. For travelers who care more about location and value than cutting-edge design or incredible dining, that balance often works just fine. Room type details aren't documented in what we found, which is frustrating but honestly not that uncommon for properties with a scattered online presence. What we do know is the hotel operates as beachfront accommodation in Monaster, a coastal city that blends historic sites with modern resort infrastructure. Without confirmed room categories, square footage, bedding setups, or amenity lists, it's really impossible to paint an accurate picture of what you'll find inside each room. This lack of detail just underscores how important it is to reach out directly to the property or your booking agent to confirm exactly what you're reserving. Ask about bed types, balcony access views, when the rooms were last updated, and whether the air conditioning is centrally controlled or if you can adjust it yourself. These questions sound boring until you're lying awake at 3 in the morning in a room that's either way too hot or freezing, wishing you'd ask. Dining specifics are similarly missing from the confirmed data. No restaurant names, no cuisine styles, no breakfast formats, no bar concepts. For a 4-star property in a resort destination, you typically expect at least one main buffet restaurant, maybe a poolside grill, and a lobby or beach bar. But without verified information, saying that would just be guessing. What this gap really tells you is that if food matters to your trip, and it should because meals shape your daily rhythm and budget, you need to investigate on your own. Contact the hotel, ask if they have all-inclusive packages, find out about half-board options, see if there are nearby dining alternatives within walking distance. Monaster has local restaurants and cafes, but relying on eating out every night changes your cost structure and limits your evening flexibility, especially if you're traveling with kids or you'd rather not navigate unfamiliar streets after dark. Pool and beach facilities lack detailed documentation in what we found. The property is described as beachfront and located in the Skeins area in some references, while the confirmed address puts it on Avenue Habib Bourguiba. This geographic confusion matters because beachfront access in Monaster varies a lot. Some stretches offer calm, shallow water that's great for families. Others face choppier conditions or share space with fishing boats and commercial activity. Without specifics on whether the hotel has a private beach section, whether suns and umbrellas are free or rented, whether there are lifeguards on duty, or whether the beach is sandy or rocky, you're just guessing. Same thing with pools. Does the property have one main pool or several? Is there a separate kids' pool? Are there swim-up bars, shaded lounging areas, or quiet zones? These details determine whether your pool day feels relaxing or like a crowded public splash park. If this information isn't published, you should probably assume you'll need to be flexible and keep your expectations in check. Activities, spa services, and wellness programs aren't documented in what we found. This could mean the hotel offers minimal programming on site, or it could just reflect incomplete online listings. Either way, the absence of confirmed data means we can't really discuss it. If you're the type of traveler who needs a packed activity schedule, water aerobics, beach volleyball, evening entertainment, kids clubs, you'll want to verify what's actually available before booking. Some 4-star properties in Tunisia offer robust animation teams and structured daily programs. Others take a quieter approach and leave guests to explore on their own. Neither is inherently better, but they suit different travel styles. You should know which kind of experience you're paying for. Monaster itself offers several notable attractions nearby that we could confirm. The Ribat, a historic fortified monastery, sits roughly 750 meters from the property. That's an easy walk, close enough that you can visit whenever you feel like it without needing a taxi or tour bus. The Ribat dates back to the 8th century and served both as a religious retreat and a coastal defense structure. Its stone walls, watchtowers, and prayer halls give you a real connection to early Islamic architecture in North Africa. Walking through its courtyards and climbing its ramparts gives you views over the modern city and the Mediterranean, a perspective that makes the historical layers of Monastir visible all at once. Entry fees are modest and the site is rarely overcrowded, making it one of those rare tourist spots where you can actually pause and absorb the atmosphere without fighting through crowds taking selfies. Al-Qaria Beach is about 700 meters from the hotel, another short walk. This proximity means you're not locked into using only the hotel's beach facilities, assuming those exist and meet your standards. Having a public beach option nearby gives you flexibility, especially if the hotel's beach gets crowded or if you just want a change of scenery. Monastir Beach, mentioned in some listings, is within a 15-minute walk. The exact relationship between Al-Qaria Beach and Monastir Beach isn't clear in the data we found. They might be different names for the same stretch or distinct sections of the coastline. Either way, the point is you're in a walkable beach zone with options. Bring your own towel, sunscreen, and water, and you can explore multiple spots without needing a car. The Hanefi Mosque of Bourguiba, also called Bourguiba Mosque, is within a 15-minute walk. This is one of Monastir's most prominent landmarks, a grand modern mosque with gleaming marble, intricate tilework, and a towering minaret you can see from much of the city. It serves as both an active place of worship and a symbol of Tunisia's post-independence identity, named after Habib Bourguiba, the country's first president. Non-Muslim visitors are generally welcome outside prayer times, though dress codes apply. Shoulders and knees covered, headscarves for women. The mosque's scale and craftsmanship make it worth visiting even if religious architecture isn't usually your thing. The surrounding plaza and gardens provide a peaceful contrast to the busier beach and Medina areas. Let's be real about what the data actually shows. A 3.7 rating on TripAdvisor based on over 2,500 reviews suggests a property that satisfies many guests but doesn't blow anyone away. Scores in this range often point to issues like dated decor, inconsistent service, or facilities that need updating. Without access to specific guest quotes or detailed score breakdowns by category, it's impossible to pinpoint exactly where the hotel excels or falls short. What you can figure out is that this isn't a brand new resort with cutting-edge design and flawless execution. It's a working hotel that has hosted thousands of guests over the years, and some of those guests found things to complain about. That's normal. The question is whether the issues that bother other people will bother you. If you're someone who notices scuffed furniture, slow Wi-Fi, or lukewarm breakfast selections, you might find yourself among the disappointed reviewers. If you're more focused on location, price, and having a clean bed and functional bathroom, you'll probably be fine. The name confusion is another honest drawback. The fact that Delphin Ribat, Delphin Habib El Habib, and Delphin Resort Monastir all show up in different listings creates a genuine risk of booking errors. Even experienced travelers can get tripped up when hotel names overlap and addresses vary slightly across platforms. This isn't necessarily the hotel's fault. It's more a byproduct of how third-party sites gather and display information, but it's a real hassle. If you're booking this property, take screenshots of the listing, save the exact address, and confirm your reservation details directly with the hotel if you can. It's also worth checking whether your booking is refundable, just in case you realize after you arrive that you've ended up somewhere other than you intended. What makes this property potentially appealing, based on the limited confirmed information, is its location in central Monastir with proximity to both beach and historic sites. You're not isolated in a resort bubble and you're not stuck in a city center with no beach access. The hotel sits in a zone where you can walk to the Ribat, stroll to the mosque, hit the beach, and still have a base with hotel amenities. For travelers who like to mix cultural exploration with beach time, that balance is hard to find. Many coastal resorts in Tunisia are either all-inclusive compounds far from town centers or urban hotels with no beach access. A property that offers both, even if imperfectly, fills a useful spot. The lack of detailed information about rooms, dining, pools, and activities is frustrating from a planning perspective, but it also means you're not paying for over-the-top luxury you might not use. 4-star properties in Tunisia generally offer comfortable, functional accommodations without the premium pricing of 5-star resorts. If your priority is having a clean, air-conditioned room, reliable hot water, and a location that puts you close to what you want to see and do, you can often get excellent value at this level. The trade-off is that you won't have the same level of polish, personalization, or predictability you'd find at a globally branded hotel. You might run into staff who speak limited English, breakfast buffets that lean heavily on local staples rather than international variety, or maintenance issues that take a day or two to resolve. These are the realities of mid-tier independent hotels in secondary resort markets, and they're worth accepting if the price and location work in your favor. Without confirmed details on all-inclusive packages, room configurations with kitchenettes, or family suites, it's impossible to offer a meaningful value breakdown comparing self-catering versus full-board options. If such packages exist, they would typically make sense for families or longer stays where the convenience of included meals offset the lack of dining flexibility. But without data, any analysis would just be guessing. Same thing applies to events and conference facilities. No information available, so there's nothing to say. What really stands out is the gap between what travelers need to know and what's actually documented online for this property. That gap doesn't make the hotel bad, but it does make booking it a higher-risk choice. You're relying more on faith and flexibility than on verified details. For some travelers, that's fine. For others, especially those planning once-in-a-lifetime trips or traveling with young children or mobility limitations, the uncertainty might be a deal-breaker. The smart move is to treat the limited information as a prompt for deeper research, not as a reason to assume the worst or hope for the best. Reach out, ask questions, read the most recent reviews you can find, and make sure your expectations line up with what the property actually delivers. Monastir is a city worth visiting, with history, beaches, and a more authentic Tunisian vibe than some of the larger resort zones. If Delphin Ribat gives you a comfortable base to explore from, and if the price reflects the 3.7 rating rather than promising something it can't deliver, it could be a perfectly reasonable choice. For checking booking availability and prices at your desired dates, you can use the link in description. I hope this video was helpful. Give it thumbs up. Subscribe for more travel-related content. If you are not ready to book this hotel, you can watch our best hotels playlist and choose the best one for you. Thanks for watching.